It's finally over, ladies and gents. Yes, the XRP case is over. At the same time that this happens, the market wakes up and Ethereum finally passes the $4,000 mark. In this market right now, that's all we could have asked for. And I'm sure this will cause XRP to go through the roof. Besides that, altcoin season is coming up faster than ever. This video has a lot to talk about, so sit back, take it easy, and let us get lost. First, let's quickly look at the market as a whole, since it's growing very quickly right now. We have seen how Bitcoin's popularity has dropped a lot in the past as well. That basically makes us think the same thing we did before, which is that the whole season is almost here. The Ethereum cycle is now in its second phase, and I think this is already clear from the fact that Ethereum isn't doing as well as Bitcoin. You also think, interesting when you look at XRP. The cycle is now in its second phase, and Ethereum is part of it. Isn't that how it really feels? We are now over $3.34 because XRP has gone up by 9% in the last 24 hours and almost 14% in the last week. That's really cool to see. We are still following the stages of the cycle though. I truly believe that everything we see at XRP is merely a makeup for what happened in 2021. Yes, we missed the most important turn. It will be even bigger than 2021. What will happen if XRP is traded at the prices it is now and performs the same way it has so far this cycle? After some time, it will become even bigger, especially if we really get into altcoin season. But XRP looks good so far. Today, the trading amount has only grown by 150%. This is a picture of the daily chart as a whole. The last week we grew by about 14%, the last month by over 40%, the last year by over 100%. Guys, that's almost 500%, and the chart looks crazy. We are going to talk about it. But yes, I mean, that's a huge amount of trade, and when it comes to daily trade volume, XRP is right behind Ethereum, even when stable coins are taken into account. And it's the third biggest coin, and that's why it makes a lot of sense. But 11.6 billion is a lot of money compared to, say, USDC. Because XRP is now the same as stablecoins, and we all know how important stablecoins are in this area, and they stand for the wealth. The fact that this is how XRP trading is going up should tell you everything you need to know. A lot of people are happy that this case is over. We'll talk about it in more depth soon, but this is what the chart for 3 days looks like. The daily chart will look a little different, so let's take a quick look at it. The whole thing could be drawn in a different way. This is how it looks where we break out. The important mark of $3.28 is now back with us. And just in case you forgot, that was the resistance zone in January. We've now broken through this area of resistance. We are now going to look at the next big zone. That looks more like the plan for 3 days. Or the next goal on the 3-day chart is $3.50. The daily course is only about 0.356. We'll go crazy with XRP if we get back $3.60. In general, this looks like a very good move. The course progress looks great so far. And if you remember from yesterday's posts that I was really working with course charts, the highest points were the only ones I looked at. As for XRP, we've had a nice upward trend so far if we look at this shorter time frame, right? We've kept going up. This looks great. We've reached a very low point. We've had some better lows. After that, it was mostly about getting past the highs. We have a high here. This is a very important high. Boom, better high. Right now, the chart for XRP is very strong. The structure is very optimistic here. And let's look at the 3-day time range. I just want you to know that even with the most recent change in the price, which was around $3.71 after we dropped $3, we kept a key support. The most crazy thing about it all is that everyone still thought the course would move lower, even though the market as a whole was very bullish. I'm glad that XRP has held up well. The big news now is that the calls have been dropped about the SEC and the Ripley file. In a sense, both sides have hung up their phones. We know this has been a long time coming. People, it took 5 years. We have been waiting patiently for it. I've also talked about it lately because it's been about a month since Ripley gave us the big news about them pulling their call. We waited calmly and knew that the case was pretty much over. I don't think anyone really thought this case would go on. All the things that happened this year about Ripley were the biggest sign that the case was pretty much over. There were more and more moves. In April, there was a big move called Hidden Root. If they didn't want to close the case, they wouldn't have done that. After that, we heard a lot of talk about the ETF and what happens next for Ripley too. And they said that they are in the process of taking over the market and want to buy as many businesses as they can to make their reach bigger. In any case, it seemed like the case was over. And the SEC is now what it is, a crypto-friendly SEC. And they want new ideas to grow in the US. They were right to just say, okay, you know what? In the same way, we're ending our call. Let's get this thing over with and let's get things going. I'm glad that this big change has finally come after 5 years. If you remember, the big news about this case came as a big surprise to everyone. And because, you know, over the next 12 months or so, XRP did something. It didn't just sit there and do nothing. You know that XRP still had a great run from the lows of Co. Even if we go back in time, I'm not even going to say the name of the low here. However, we still saw a rise of around 300% if we start from this low point. Nearly every major stock market decoded XRP during this time, so this drop of about 1,700% is pretty big. And generally, XRP gave off a hugely negative vibe. Here we are with everything in front of us, in this case pretty much over. We know it's time to start moving forward. Now we can finally see what XRP can do. I believe this will be very exciting for everyone, and I want to get even closer to it after that. I'm not sure if this movie gives me enough time though. We could record it for another video, but you know it's about Rail Financial. Rail Financial has been taken over by XRP. As it turns out, that was just one day before the case was officially closed. That was a very big takeover. For starters, Rail Financial is a big name in the stablecoin business. By building our global payment network around the powerful back office and virtual account features of Rails, this makes XRP even stronger as a leader in crypto infrastructure and stablecoin payments. Discover how this deal gives businesses the best stablecoin payment solution on the market, making it easier for them to move money faster, more consistently, and more efficiently.